The
He's
dude
gonna.
is phenomenal, in my opinion. The dude is phenomenal.
Yep.
Uh, right now, as far as what I'm seeing. I like to see him after they get tape on him and everything like that, but you already know about that. Um,
Harsh critic.
I'm not a harsh critic. How am I a harsh critic when I just said the dude is phenomenal? How am I harsh? He's a he's a phenomenal player. I just want to see how he handles the other circumstances, which is when they have tape on him and they start scheming for him.
Well, they
I just
have.
want to see
They
how he
got a
goes.
whole year's long, 17 games, 18 games, 19 games worth of tape on him now. 18 games worth of tape on him.
And I'm pretty sure they'll be studying that come the next season.
Then Mark Andrews dropping passes. He
Okay,
dropped
elephant in the
three
room.
passes. He dropped like three passes, and then when he catches a pass, they got all the momentum. They doing good. They're driving down the field. Boom, he fumbles, and then
Because he didn't protect the
then,
rock.
then Buffalo turns around, comes down and get a field goal.
Hey, like I
Oh,
said before, when you play wide receiver, all right, you play wide receiver. You got these gloves on, right? At least back in the day, I know when
I
I
don't know
played,
if it was the gloves or not, but it
bro,
seemed like
bro,
I would have took the gloves off.
bro. If you drop a pass and you got them gloves on, that's the first thing that comes off.
But everybody else was playing with the gloves and doing
I don't give
okay.
a damn what everybody else is doing because everybody else ain't dropping passes. So let's say right now, what's your prediction on the games? What's up? What's up, good people? What's happening? This is my man CJ,
It was good all.
and this is your one and only Steve O, and we're with the good, the bad, and the game.
The game.
There you go. Right now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a little bit of talking about what we saw this past weekend when it come down to the sports that was happening out this camp. Um,
Particularly the NFL playoffs.
I don't know why you got that Ravens hat on.
It is what it is, my
Yo,
brother.
for the people, hold up. For the people that that come and they check us out on our pod and everything like that, you might be a little confused because I know you saw CJ with his Dallas stuff on beginning of the shows and stuff like that, and now you see him with a Ravens
I think I had
hat
already
and
divorced my ex-wife by
jersey.
then. So I don't think I've
Uh,
ever worn any Dallas stuff.
he's talking about him being divorced, and no such a thing when it comes down to your sports teams. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but maybe
You
I'm
ride or
guilty of
die. You ride
unprecedented
or die
shit.
with him. Just let you know right now that he's fair weather, and I want to apologize right off the bat for that.
It's one way to
Uh,
look at it.
yeah,
But I'm passionate.
my team went. What did we do? 3-13. What we? We did terrible this year. New York Giants, by the way, and I'm still rocking with my squad, regardless. As long as you put
Respect
that
to you.
uniform on, I'm rocking with them.
I had to quit the
Uh,
bitch.
just don't understand. Now he got something against the owner.
Been had
Anyway,
this has been going on for a few years now.
now I will
Just
give
come
credit.
public.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due, right? I ain't gonna lie. That cat, Jay Daniels, has been looking pretty doggone good, man. Uh, I gotta give him his props and whatnot. But then again, you know how I am. My brother always disagrees with me, but I take at least 2 seasons before I pass any kind of judgment on a new quarterback. All right.
Mm-mm-mm.
He says I take too long. He says I don't know why you have to go ahead and go 2 seasons. I do 2 seasons. This is just the way I've been because the first season ain't no tape on the brother.
What if
Get
he
out there, you
wins the
do what he
Super
do.
Bowl this year?
Okay, that's great. I'm not just because I take 2 years in order for me to size a cat up or judge on him doesn't mean that he's not good. I'm just saying is that I like to see him perform when there is tape, when they have tape on him and they start scheming against him when it comes down to the defense. That's all I'm saying. I'm
That
not
only
saying that
takes really 5 games or so.
no, no. I don't know why we always get into this every time because this is what I do.
Yeah, but
You can take one game if that's what you want, but then you also lose a lot of bets.
you can't
So
deny greatness if it's right before your eyes. You know what I
I,
mean?
okay, okay,
And I'm not
okay.
defending the commander because I really don't uh, care for them. But I was a big fan of Jaden's at LSU and Arizona State, and I like his game, I like his approach, and I like his moxie, and I like that will he has inside of him, which
Well,
you can't
you
teach.
make
You
it.
don't. You can see that immediately.
See, this is the problem. This is a problem with human beings. All right. I don't know how did it turn into if you want to just hold judgment. How did that turn into where you're basically taking the meaning as if I'm saying he sucks and I don't? I'm not saying that at all. I'm think he's doing phenomenal. He's doing great things this season. I just like to see if he can do it when the tape is on, and if he can, this guy right here is going to be a generation. He's a generational talent. That's what I'm saying. That's all. I'm saying that I'm not
Pretty much
shitting on him
being
or nothing
average.
like that. It's just something that I do when it comes down to players. I like to see them when defensive coordinators start scheming for them and see how he handles that. That's all I'm saying. You
All
know.
right. Well, let's get into the playoffs as they went this weekend. And since you were speaking on Jaden, let's talk about that game first. What do you think? Well, actually, no. We're going to talk about Patrick and Houston, um, Kansas City and Houston first. What did you think about that game? And basically, with the ebbs and flows, real quick. We ain't going to stay on it too long because what was supposed to happen happened.
Um, the guy just keeps getting it done, man. Mahomes, uh, Reed, the defense. See, when I look at the team and when I start judging the team and saying like, "Hey, look, you know what? You got to watch out for this squad." I always go off defense first. That's just how I've always been. A lot of people like to talk about the offense. They like to talk about, yo, these guys gonna rack points up on you, but or they look at certain players and they say, yo, that offense, you're not gonna beat that offense. And I say, depends on the defense. Depends on the defense. If the
I personally believe Houston could have played a better game. I think they didn't make the in-game adjustments that they needed to because they completely especially in the second half, Kansas City completely disrespected Houston's pass protection and their ability to
uh-huh.
do something with the pass protection. And Houston made no adjustments. And Stroud looked like a deer in headlights many of the times. When he can sit back there with an extra second, the dude throw the ball as well as anybody. But they rattled him. They definitely rattled him. And
Defense.
so
The
yeah, I think,
defense.
but yeah, the defense, Kansas City's defense rattled them, but they were running the ball pretty good in the first half. They were staying with it, mixing up plays, then hitting with the play action, which is what I thought they should have done all throughout. But then they got behind the 8 ball a little bit. They got predictable, and then they ended
Mm.
up just basically conceding to Kansas City. In my opinion, looking at Kansas City in that game, um, just a step ahead. I think Buffalo is going to get them again.
Mm.
I think
Mm.
Buffalo is going to get them, and I don't think Buffalo is going to get them because they're the better team. I just think Buffalo has what it takes to beat them, and not because of how they beat them the first time. It's just I think that if Josh put his cape on, he can really exploit Kansas City. Plus, one thing that goes unsaid about Buffalo
Mhm.
is that they have the best offensive line in football.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, since we got on Buffalo now, um, from watching these games, and I'm mashing it up here because I'm going from team to team. All right, some guys play better in the regular season, and I don't know if it's a mental thing uh, where they put undue pressure on themselves or whatever, but they don't play as well in the playoffs.
I think
And
that's
I'm gonna
more
tell you
true.
right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I know you're waiting for me to say it, but Lamar is one of them. All right.
And Lamar actually played a decent game, other than the fumble and the
He did
interception.
turn it on in the second half. He did turn it on in the second half, and but they beat themselves. I'm just gonna say that they beat themselves. All
Facts.
right.
Facts.
Um,
And still had a chance to, tie the game up.
you got my man Stafford. Stafford. I don't know if it's play calling or whatever, but those guys they play a little more hesitant. They play a little
That
more
cold
hesitant
weather,
when it comes down to the
it
playoffs.
was cold as crap in Philly. The cold weather was kind of evident there, even though those wide receivers did all they could to help.
Both both
Stafford got a
teams,
little rattled, and man,
both
I just
teams.
those two plays in a row by Carter when they drove all the way down the field. They didn't get Stafford on the wing. They didn't roll him out or nothing. They left him back there as a sitting duck. And you got two of the best receivers on your team. You got to roll them out. You got to get them off the spot because Carter is probably one of the best defensive linemen in the league. And
Hmm.
that mug came with tenacity on both plays. And that was the game. That was the game on the line right there. You want to roll Stafford out, give him a chance to make a completion. Almost the same thing, and I know we jumping back and forth. The same thing happened to Lamar in the game. But
Yeah,
anyway, um,
but I'm just saying that there's certain players that I don't know by now they shouldn't be shook when it comes down to the playoffs, but clearly they still are. You
who
know what I'm
like
saying?
who? You say
Um,
shook. Shook means you choked and couldn't do nothing.
you're a little shook. You're a little shook. All right, and Stafford being one.
You think
Um,
Stafford was shook?
I think Steph was a little shook. All right. I also think what's his name? What's her man? Golf. Oh, what's his name?
Golf.
Golf
Yeah.
for Detroit.
You
Little
think he
shook.
was shook,
I think they're a
or
little shook.
they were outplayed? They were simply outplayed. Golf did. I mean, Golf made some mistakes to make you think he was shook. Interceptions, all those interceptions, but
Okay.
he still
Some
played
te-
pretty well in some circumstances.
right, and so who won that game? Defense, right?
I wouldn't say that because the shit was a
You-
shootout, man.
for which one? Which one for
It was a
Detroit?
shootout for both of them. It was like
For the
45-30 something.
Detroit and yeah.
Detroit and Washington.
Yeah, both of them was able to go on ahead and move on to each other's defense, right? Right.
Yeah.
So um snow being a factor, I thought they would have more fun in the snow. Um
No, there was no. They was in a dome, so they had no
hold on,
problems.
wait a minute. What am I talking about? Okay, I keep going back to the
Philly game.
Ravens game. No, Philly game.
Philly and Ravens game was in
Yeah,
snow.
was in the snow. Right. Okay. So I'm looking at and I'm talking about Philly.
Hmm.
I'm talking about Philly because I know we jumping all over the place, but they it's the defense. If the defense can hold the team down, more than likely that offense they're going to be able to win the game.
Hmm.
All right, because I'm going to tell you right now, that's exactly how Kansas City does it. As much as they harp on Mahomes and as much as they harp on Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
It's the defense that keep these guys in the game in order for them to actually win it. You know what I'm saying? Whose defense, and I'm gonna ask you a question, whose defense you think is rocking out of the teams that's left? Whose defense is rocking the most?
Uh, if you just go by the best defense for the four teams, you'd have to say Philly. But in game time situation, you could easily say Kansas City. In the playoffs, there's a different element, though. I believe,
That's
I
what we're
believe,
talking about, the playoffs.
yeah, it's a different element in this for this reason. I believe that that Philly's defense travels is pretty good, but they look like they could be had. There was times in the games when they was being dominated by the Rams offense, and then there was times in the game when C.J. Stroud looked good against Kansas City. Those are the two premier defenses left, but Washington has proved that they can move the ball on anybody. Jaden will run that ball if all else fails. And
Hmm.
they offense can run the ball, and Jaden's a really accurate passer.
So,
So he's gonna, and he's beaten Philly this year, so you know he's confident. So he's
was
gonna
that
give Philly all it can happen, all they can
trying
handle.
to trying to remember that game during the season because I know they split.
They split, but the last
So,
game
so
toward
the
the end of
last
the
game,
year,
last game towards the end of the year.
Jaden and them beat Philly.
Right, but I'm trying to
Even though
think.
Philly kind of dominated that game,
Hold on, was
but
that
at
the
the
last
end,
game? Was
huh?
that the last game?
That was it
That was
was it was in the last couple of weeks of the season.
okay. Last couple of weeks of the season, so that means everybody was playing.
Yeah, they were
Okay,
playing to win. There was
and
nobody sitting down.
but was that a last second win?
It was an overtime win.
Was
I
overtime.
believe it was an overtime win.
Oh, okay, it was overtime win. Philly was still trying to see if they can get the still trying to go for
Let me
best
see.
record, right? They were still
Yeah, I
fighting for the
believe.
bye, right?
Yeah, they were. They were playing all their players. If that's what you want to allude to, they were. They
Well, I was trying
played.
to find out what they was playing for. They were trying to play for that bye, right? They were still in contention, trying to
They
get
were playing.
Detroit,
They
right?
played their whole team. So
They was
yeah, they
trying to get
probably
Detroit,
was.
right?
They were playing for the hoping that Detroit lose so that they can get the
So they could
first
get the
seed.
bye, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Um, and that went into overtime.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Washington is on a roll right now. So
Washington is looking good. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking good. Um, who you got for this game?
honestly, I want to see Washington. I want to see Jaden Daniels and them beat them.
Okay.
I would like to see Jaden Daniels beat Philly.
We'll take your feelings out of it because I would like to see Saquon Barkley get a championship too, but
That's because he's of Giants lore. I understand that.
still like to see him get one. But take your feelings out of it. Who do you think will win this game between these NFC East rivals?
I think Washington can find a way to pull it out because eh, if they can somehow control uh, Jalen Hurts, they can win the game. Now, Barkley and them, I mean, Barkley won that game single handedly like he did the first time. 255 yards the first time he played the Rams, 205 yards last week. He ain't gonna run for 205 yards in Washington, but he probably top 100. He'll probably get 150 or something like that. And that
So
may or may not be enough.
so you're saying that they can shut down Barkley.
No, they can't shut him down. No,
Okay,
not at
so
all.
that's not happening. Okay, so that's not
No.
happening. So you're saying
I'm
that
sure he
they
ran
can.
for 100 and something yards in both games.
So you're saying that that line can get to Jalen Hurts. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm just. So you're saying that line can get to
Even
him.
though Philly got the biggest lineman in the fucking league, 6'8", 350 pounds. They average 340, 350 pounds across.
Okay. So
Yes,
you
you can still get to him with some blitzes and some exotic defense. You
okay?
just
So
got to be
they
smart with it.
okay. So
And of
they
course,
they
Jalen gonna look to run from time to time, so it's gonna be interesting.
so you're saying that they can get to him. That defensive line can get to Jalen. All
Yeah.
right. And you're saying that that secondary that they got can cover those wide receivers they
I
got,
don't know.
right? Even though you even
I seen
you,
Brown. I think Brown and was Smith. They pretty good back there on the back. They gave Washington a hard time during the season. So
so you're
yeah,
saying that you're saying that they can cover those those receivers, those Philly receivers. That's AJ and them.
nah, I'm not saying
You
that they
say,
can cover them.
so you,
I'm
so
just saying that they just got to play a serviceable game like they did that last game. See, that last game happened. I think it was 3 games before the end of the season. I think.
hmm
Yeah, yeah. They played Washington played them. They played Washington on December 22nd,
hmm
and had 2 games after that. Dallas and the Giants,
okay,
and then they went into the postseason. So yeah, they were playing for all the marbles, and
okay,
Washington beat them 36-33 in OT, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, okay. 36-33. Now I'm gonna flip that. I'm gonna flip
Mhm.
that when it comes down to, do you think Philly defense get to Jaden
They
Daniels?
they can, but Jaden is starting to use all his weapons now. This
hmm
guy Sakias, of course, he's been using Terry
hmm
McLaurin all the time, and
hmm
Terry can beat anybody. Terry might as well be a number one at this point. I mean, he's a number
Okay.
one. He's damn near a premier receiver. If he isn't, you can call him a premier receiver. I guess all of
And,
Washington.
and you're saying that Philly secondary can cover
I think they're okay.
Laughlin and
They're not great. They're serviceable. Slay is not what he once
serviceable.
was, but he's still decent. And they're decent. But
Service.
what makes
Okay.
them really good is that their front seven is tight. And if
Okay.
that
So
front
that
seven
front.
can get to Jalen, then it's gonna be
Well, I just asked that. I just asked, in
but
your opinion.
Jalen is slippery, man. Jalen
I
runs,
I
they
agree.
keep
I
him off
agree.
balance.
But the question is, do
Jaden,
you
I'm sorry.
think do you think, in your opinion, that Philly front line can get to JD?
At times. I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing because they're gonna keep them off balance. They're gonna keep them
hmm
off balance. They know them. It's going to be a tight game, something
hmm
like 27-24.
Somewhere around there. Okay.
Yeah, and it can go either way. Even though it
Okay.
seems like Philly is the big bad wolf compared to them, it literally can go either way.
Okay. I like that kid. I like that kid, Jaden Daniels. I really do.
He's going
I
to show
really
you
do. But
something.
I think I have
He going to
I
show up
have.
to play. One thing you get this guy credit for, he doesn't make that many mistakes.
hmm
He
Right.
doesn't shoot
Right.
himself in the foot for a
He
rookie.
makes the right decisions. That's the
Yeah.
thing that gets me. This guy makes the right decisions all the time.
Yeah, he's
I'm
gonna
like, wow,
he's
the dude
gonna
is phenomenal, in my opinion. The dude is phenomenal.
yep.
Uh, right now, as far as what I'm seeing, I like to see him after they get tape on him and everything like that. But you already know about that. Um,
Harsh critic.
I'm not a harsh critic. How am I a harsh critic when I just said the dude is phenomenal? How am I harsh? He's a he's a phenomenal player. I just want to see how he handles the other circumstances, which is when they have tape on him and they start scheming for him.
Well, they
I just want
have.
to see
They
how he
got a
goes.
whole year's long, 17 games, 18 games, 19 games worth of tape on them now. 18 games worth of tape on them.
And I'm pretty sure they'll be studying that come the next season.
But it's not. It's one thing about a running quarterback. You can scheme till you blue in the face, but that running is always going to be an X factor. So
Okay,
it'll always give you a little bit
look,
of an edge
look,
because that's
look,
the extra man on the field.
look. Okay, you can scheme in Lamar, right? Because I know
You
that's what you're
can
alluding
nobody
to.
schemes Lamar and totally stops him
Okay, totally stops him, but they slow him down. All right,
at times.
huh?
At times.
Okay, at times. All right. What I'm saying is that when you're going ahead and you look at the tape, when these guys get tape on you, the production is just maybe just a little bit lower than what it was that you did
You'll take the
when
little
you was a
bit as
rookie.
opposed to a drop back passer. Let me just tell you this. There's 11 men on the field. And if you got a guy that's a threat to run all the time, that actually takes one of them defenders all the way away. Takes
Okay.
one whole
All
defender
right.
all the way
Okay.
away. So you can
Okay.
scheme, you can put a spy, and what makes Lamar so successful is that he outruns the spies.
Mm-hmm.
He outmaneuvers the spies. So
Okay.
Jaden is pretty close to the same way. If
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
he's smart with it. You know, he's pretty
Okay.
daggone smart with it. Something they're not giving him a lot of credit for yet, but they will. Is that he's a smart quarterback and he makes the good decisions.
He makes the
Now,
right decisions. Right.
now he going up against a beast of a team where their weak link is their quarterback. They strong in the receivers, they strong at running back, they strong on defense, and they got the second best, if not the best, offensive line.
So you're saying you're just doing a comparison when it comes down to you talking about Jalen Hurts.
Well, no,
Because
Jalen Hurts is he's not the Jalen Hurts. It doesn't seem he's the same Jalen Hurts that went to the Super Bowl a few years back. It seems like he's the weak link. You take a one of
really.
these top-notch quarterbacks, uh, say a Josh Allen or a Lamar or a Patrick, and put them on that Philly team, there ain't no way they would lose. They wouldn't even lose the Super Bowl. They would be Vegas would have them winning the Super Bowl off the Brizzy.
So sound like you're shitting on Jalen Hurts, yo.
I'm only
It
shitting
sound
on the
like it.
way he's played this year.
But you shitting on the way he's played this year. What's the record?
Yeah, but it's not all because of him. What did
What's the
Saquon
record?
Barkley do? What
What's
did
the record?
Saquon Barkley do? What did AJ Brown do? And what did that defense do?
So let
What
me
did that
understand something.
offensive line do?
Matter of fact, didn't Jalen get hurt? Didn't he get hurt in one of the games?
Toward the end of the game, I mean, on end of the
No, it
year,
wasn't towards the end of the game.
it was the end of the year.
But didn't he get hurt? That changed the whole complexity of the game for the Eagles.
Yeah, but they won while he was hurt. Some guy they
Uh,
brought in some six
I,
six white guy, and
no.
he played
You
his
sure? Hold
ass
on. You,
off.
you sure they? You sure they won?
Yeah, they won. They won while Jalen was gone.
No, that game that he went out. The one when he got hurt.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think they lost that game.
I
I
don't
could be
remember that.
wrong.
That
Ray,
would I'd have to do
I could be
some
wrong.
research. I'd have to
But
do some research.
the way you took the way you shitting on Jalen, you making it sound like you could have anybody back there because of all the other talent around him, and they can go ahead and win. No, bro. Nah, I disagree with you on that.
I believe that Jalen ain't playing as good as he was playing in the back.
Okay, well maybe he's not, but he's still doing enough to win.
That's
And
a
you
fact.
got me over here defending the Philadelphia Eagles team that, you know, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm just saying. Um, I don't, it doesn't have to be one end of the spectrum. If you're talking about a guy, you don't have to either he's praised up on this end of the spectrum or he's just garbage all the way on the other end. It's a lot of middle ground with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's not playing his best game,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh,
it's not like he played. But
Jalen
it's
got
not like he
hurt, and
playing
like
his. He's not playing
Jalen.
his worst.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out when was it he got hurt? Was it against the Commanders?
Yo, what's up, Ray? Man, Ray, you should have been on that. As soon as I speak it, man, you're supposed to be having it out there ready for me in the chat. You know what? He taking the day off. That's what he doing.
Granted, just to be real with you, they lose Jalen, they can't win. Jalen does give them the element that they ain't gonna get from another quarterback.
Exactly. All right.
Anybody that's on their roster anyway.
Let's hold on. All I'm trying to do is say this: take away from going from one side of the spectrum to the other side of the spectrum. All right. But we as human beings tend to do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like like if I'm with my girl and she don't appreciate all the things that I do now, and I'm a giving person, I'm not giving it no damn body. I'm gonna run to the other end of the spectrum. I'm not giving it no damn body. But giving is in my nature, right?
Right.
So no, you don't run to the other end of the spectrum. You just turn around and say like, okay, I'm just not gonna give to you anymore. But I'm a giving person. I'm just not gonna give it to you because you don't appreciate it. What I'm saying is that when you talk about these quarterbacks, you don't have to run to the other end of the spectrum and make it seem like they just garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? They can
Well, I'm not
still
saying
be
he's
good.
garbage. He just hasn't been playing like we know him to play.
And he's still winning. And he's still winning because when he's in there, he's still a threat.
Yeah, well,
Feel me?
he's not
Whoever
scaring the
could,
crap out of
I,
nobody though.
I'm just gonna say where we at. I know we're about uh, we only got a certain amount of time and whatnot, but I'm gonna say this: when these guys get in here these are the playoffs, you got to bring your best game, and one of the top priorities is not turning the ball over. Period. Period. Don't turn the ball over. I don't care if you get caught for a loss. Don't turn the ball over. It's the
Mm-hmm.
bottom line. That's the number one priority when it comes down to playing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Period.
that's it. Yeah, you turnovers kill you in the playoffs.
So so we'll see. We'll see because the Ravens lost that game because they lost the game, not because Buffalo beat them. Because they lost the game. They turned the
Coaching
ball over
is
too many times.
they turned the ball over. Yeah, they did.
And Buffalo was like, yeah, we just gonna play it safe.
Yeah,
And
well,
I'm letting you know right now, that's not gonna work against Kansas City.
playing it safe
All
is
right.
never going to work.
All
They're not
right.
going
I'm
to
just
play
letting you
it
know.
safe. They're not going to play it safe against Kansas City. What they tried to do is when the Ravens made the mistakes, they kept the ball. They wanted to keep the ball for as long as they possibly can. So they tried to short dink and dunk stuff and
Hmm.
running. So they wanted to run the clock down. And that's serviceable. But all that was for naught if Mark Andrews just makes the catch.
Okay.
Mark Andrews,
We got
you
that.
could say 50-50. Mark Andrews, from a fan's perspective, Mark Andrews and Lamar lost that game. Lamar
Let's talk
behind the
about
eight ball, putting himself behind the eight ball with the
okay.
interception and fumble, and
Okay.
then Mark Andrews dropping passes. He
Okay.
dropped
Elephant in the
three
room.
passes. He dropped like three passes, and then when he catches a pass, they got all the momentum. They doing good. They're driving down the field. Boom, he fumbles, and
Because he didn't protect the
then
rock.
then Buffalo turns around, comes down and get a field goal.
Hey, like I
Um,
said before, when you play wide receiver, all right, you play wide receiver. You got these gloves on, right? At least back in the day. I know when
I
I
don't
played.
know if it was the gloves or not, but it
Bro,
seemed like
bro,
I would have took the gloves off.
bro. If you drop a pass and you got them gloves on, that's the first thing that comes off.
But everybody else was playing with the gloves and doing
I don't give
okay.
a damn what everybody else is doing because everybody else ain't dropping passes.
Yeah.
If you dropping passes, you take them damn gloves off. Deal with the sting. Deal with the sting of that ball, but at least you feel it. And
All right.
I
So
don't care. I don't. You know what? And he's gonna be better for it. He's gonna be better for it. But damn
that
it,
shit ain't
you
doing
don't
nobody no fucking good right
you
now.
don't drop that 2 point conversion. I was like this. Damn, damn, because Ravens shouldn't have put themselves in a position. They shouldn't have put themselves in a position because it was an interception. Quarterback threw an interception. I don't know if they got mixed up on the route, but he threw it right to the defensive back. I'm like, okay, and that was Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar wound up getting also getting dude jerked his leg or whatever trying to get a sack, and he put the ball on the ground. And I was like,
Well, nah.
okay,
First of all, that play started out terrible because the center
yeah,
hiked it terribly,
yeah,
and
right,
Lamar had to chase the ball down. Then when he
but you
chased the
got it.
ball down, he got it with one hand, and then the dude jerked his leg. So the ball's already slippery because it's got that film
No, no, no,
crust
no,
on
no,
it.
no, 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 no. He had possession of that ball.
He did.
He
He
had
did, but he
possession of that
fumbled it.
ball,
He only had one hand on it.
and he was trying to make a move.
Yes.
He was trying to make a move. He had
But
possession of that ball, trying to make a move, had that ball out there.
had the ball been dry, he would have been able to tuck it when he fell.
I don't want to hear about had the ball been
It's not
dry.
an excuse. I'm not making
That's
an
what it
excuse.
sounded like.
No, I'm telling you what happened. It's not an excuse. He straight fumbled the ball.
Right. Exactly. Because he didn't do what he was supposed to do and protect the rock.
Bruh,
So he
you
fumbled the
sound
ball.
like a prognosticator that looks at the
No,
game
no,
and don't look at
no.
the whole shit. They
I'm
just want
looking
to
at the
talk about the bad shit that
I'm,
happened.
I'm, I'm looking at the
The
whole thing.
ball was hiked. He had to get back and get his
He, he
bearings.
he grabbed, but did he
And the
have
dude
possession of the
grabbed his
ball?
leg and he's falling.
No, no, I'm not letting
He
you do
don't
that.
have
You
any gloves on.
no, you trying to make it sound. Now I ain't talking about gloves. He ain't had no gloves on. I'm talking about Lamar. Lamar grabbed the ball because it was a high hike. Grabbed the ball and he had possession. He
So
had
what?
possession of the ball. So when you have possession of the ball,
He
what's the
maybe
number one
if you're
priority?
saying it like that, maybe he should have just fell down.
He should have just yes, he should have just fell down. At
I
least he would
agree
have
with
kept
that.
possession.
I agree
Okay,
with that.
but he tried to make a move,
He tried to make a play.
got his leg jerked, and he wound up putting the ball on the ground. And he know that was a mistake. If you ask him to this day, he'll tell you that was a
He's,
mistake.
he
He
said
shouldn't
it.
have
He
did
said
that.
it. He said it.
Okay, all right.
Can't have no turnovers. No
Now
matter
I'm
how you
back on
look at it, a
Andrews.
turnover is a mistake. So
Now I'm back on Andrews. All right. When he missed that first ball, when he missed that first pass, you should took them damn gloves off.
so
All right.
you think this whole game was Lamar's fault? Like all the other people is trying to say?
No, no, I'm not saying that it's Lamar's fault because after a game, after a loss, everybody is actually thinking back on what they could have done
As a team.
in order as a team in order to win.
But I want to put something out there that most people don't know. All right, there was 5 drops. It's 4 or 5 drops, 4 or 5 clear-cut drops, and Lamar completed 72% of his passes,
Mm-hmm.
2 touchdowns, 254 yards, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Take away the drops, and Baltimore probably scores like twice. 2 of the drops killed was drive killing drops.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember the fumble by Mark, and then the fumble by Lamar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
on the interception, I don't even think
Did they
Kansas
score on
City
both of
scored.
those?
No, they didn't
They
score on the interception. They
no,
turned around and had to punt it back to Baltimore
not
after
that one. I'm talking about the fumbles.
the fumbles. Yes, they scored on the Mark Andrews fumble and the Lamar fumble.
Okay.
And you just take away those mistakes, and we have a totally different game by far. But if it was a split, we all be high too, right?
But they still came close. They still came close to at least tying the game.
Yeah, but
Came close to tying the game.
last year, I'll put it out here like this. Last year, the wise guys went to Todd Monken's house the night before the game and told him, I don't care what you do not give that ball to Derrick Henry tomorrow. Once a few times to make it look legit, and that's it. I mean, not Derrick Henry to the running game. You do not let uh, uh, them run the ball. And that's what happened. They didn't run the ball, which is what got them to the playoffs. And this time they called up Mark Andrews and said, I don't care what you do, you make sure you drop that fucking ball and
Okay.
you fumble that ball.
Okay. Okay. He talking conspiracy now. Okay.
The wise
All
guys,
right.
man. Look, you like your
All
wife, you like your
right.
kids. Let me make this call.
All right.
So,
Okay.
so you
Well,
know, he's shitting bricks. He's already trembling from the cold, so he can't
okay.
catch the ball after that.
All
And then
right.
they, one of the wise guys took a picture with him and his girlfriend, his wife or
Oh,
girlfriend.
you know what? I almost forgot. You know you owe Will a little something, right?
I already paid Will.
You got him?
Yeah, I paid Will last week.
Yeah. But anyway, um,
But Baltimore
this
game, yeah, this is the game we should have
this
been talking
this
about. We gotta wrap it up soon, but
yes, but this is the deal. Yeah, I know because we'll pass the half. Um, so let's say right now, what's your prediction on the games?
prediction. I wouldn't put no money on any of these games, but I got Kansas City. I mean, I got Buffalo to upset Kansas City if the coach let them play ball. If they
Okay,
try to do and
bro,
tippy toe
bro,
around the game like
bro,
they did with the Ravens last week,
bro.
they are
Stop,
definitely going to lose.
stop with
I'm
the
telling
if
you.
shit. Stop
I
with the
got
if shit.
Buffalo. I
Who
got
you got?
Buffalo, but
Okay,
we're here to commentate, so I'm commentating on it.
okay,
So
okay.
so so
But
I
the
got
hold up.
Buffalo.
But that was my question. Who you got? You got Buffalo, okay, and
I
who you
got
got?
Buffalo,
And you got
and
You got Washington,
I
or
got Washington.
you got Washington. You got.
I got Washington in the biggest upset of the year.
Okay, okay, got you. Me, I got the exact opposite. Both games.
That's right. Go with
Both
the
games.
go with the favorites. But I
Are
believe
they
something's going
favorites?
to happen.
Are they favorites? I'm not going. I'm not going with
Both
the
of them are
favorites.
favorites.
They are.
Philly by
Okay.
5.5 and
Okay.
Kansas City by 1.5.
I just think they got the better defense. The teams that I'm going with.
I do believe that
That's what I'm going with.
I do believe that Kansas City has a better defense than Buffalo,
Yeah.
but I believe that Buffalo is riding a high. They
Okay.
know they can beat Kansas City.
Got you.
They know they can beat them, and I think they're going to find a way to upset them in Arrowhead.
Okay.
Now, that being said, Taylor Swift and the
Oh,
officials and stuff,
tell
we
us.
we can't really
Come on.
account
Let's
for how
let
that's
we
going to
talk about the
go.
ball game, all right?
You know what I'm saying?
Talk,
If they keep
talking
it,
about the ball game.
you know what they actually called a really good game. I maybe with the exception of that pass interference, they actually
Mm,
called a good game with Buffalo and Baltimore. No
okay.
problems. They let them play. I
Okay.
hope they let them play because if they let them play, Buffalo has a really good chance.
Mm, I don't know. You don't sound too confident.
I'm confident. Buffalo
You don't
will
sound too confident. You know,
you're right. I'm not too
you got
confident because
you
I
got
don't
too
give
many
a
ifs
shit
in there.
about who wins for real, and I wouldn't put no money on it. But
Uh huh.
I just think that Buffalo has figured it out, and they
Okay.
also know what's at hand. They can stop
Okay.
these dudes from three-peating. They can
Okay.
stop. They can finally, if they really want to cement Josh Allen's legacy, win
Okay.
this game, and they do it. They win
Okay.
this game, and it doesn't even matter what happens going forward.
All right. Okay. So you got your predictions in, right?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna pretty much end the show, right? One more question. Who's taking it all?
Wow. Whoever comes out of the AFC. So that would, in my case,
No,
based on what
no,
I just said, it
no,
would be Buffalo.
no, no. I want a team. Who's
Huh?
taking it all? I
Buffalo.
want a team. Who's taking it all?
Buffalo. Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay.
Because I don't think
Okay.
I don't think
I'm thinking AFC
Washington
also, and
Washington or Philly can do anything with Buffalo.
I'm thinking AFC as well, and I'm thinking Kansas City's going to take it again.
I think they're gonna Kansas City didn't look that good last week against Houston.
The offense or the defense?
Period.
Okay.
As a whole, they did
Okay.
in the second half. They righted their wrongs in the second half, but
Okay.
granted, let me say, call it what it is. Houston played both of them tough during the regular season too. Houston
Okay.
beat Buffalo in the regular season,
All right. Gotcha.
but they lost probably on some official shit on a close
Okay.
game to Patrick Mahomes in the first game. So
All right.
Houston is a formidable opponent. But that being said, the NFC can't. The NFC is just not the best of the NFC. Can't do anything. Excuse me, with the best of the AFC right now.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, if Patrick does go, they will beat Philly.
Okay.
Oh, and you know
All
what?
right.
Now that you mention it, damn, that would be a good ass game. And you know what? The wise guys know that. The best outcome would be Kansas City against Philly. And the wise guys know that.
Okay.
So
Well,
look for
that was my prediction. Kansas
look
City
for
against Philly,
who makes
and
the mistakes. Look for who makes all of the mistakes on
yeah, but that's too late. That's too late because I'm already in the game by then. So I'm making my predictions now.
oh
All
yeah,
right.
I'm not talking about for
Okay.
prediction purposes. I'm
Hmm.
talking about for who got the phone call from the wise guys.
Okay. Conspiracy. Got you. All right.
No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
peoples, what good peoples? Because we got to cut this one. I tell you right now, we ran over time, but it's all good. If you agree with anything, and I know you got some sports fans out
Or
there,
disagree. Or
or
disagree.
disagree with anything that we were saying, when it come down to these playoffs and come down to some of these predictions and why we feel the way we feel about particular teams, just go on ahead and throw it in the comments and whatnot. And please go on ahead and like and subscribe. Please subscribe if you want to see what's coming out next, and that way you can be notified when the next time we drop another video. Uh, and But definitely let us know what's good, what you think. Um, Everybody's got an opinion, and I know it's a lot more sports guys out there besides us, and sports women as well. Um, so just go on ahead and let us know. But as of right now, we're just going to cut it off. You listen to another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Game.